It is Monday, July the 27th, and the NFL countdown preview shows continue. This week, we have the AFC North. So kick back, relax, because another edition of Unbiased is live, and it starts right now. Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome into Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio, coming to you guys live tonight on a muggy Monday evening here in Hamilton, New Jersey. Of course, this is the show for all your unbiased sports talk that you guys deserve. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams, the jabroni of the Northeast himself. Tyler, how are we doing tonight?
Sam, I just want to say, I can't wait for the 76ers to not win the NBA Finals.
What does that have to do with tonight's show?
I don't know. You said it, the jabroni of the Northeast, so here we go. I'm just giving you what you want.
You're here for you're giving the people what they want, I guess. All right, so listen, we got a big show tonight. A lot of headlines around the NFL. Got some breaking news that came down about an hour ago. We'll talk about that later in the show. Talk about some of the latest injury updates and NFL headlines with training camps getting started this week. But as everyone knows, we are in the middle of our NFL preview shows. We kicked off last week with the NFC West, and we want to thank everybody who came out to that show and threw in their comments in the chat. We greatly appreciate it. We gained 3 new subscribers during last week's show on the YouTube side and had 4 or 5 new commenters for the first time. So thank you all who tuned in last week, all our new commenters, and all of our original fans as well. We greatly appreciate all of you guys for making these NFL preview shows so special. So tonight, we're going to jump in AFC North. That's where we're going to kick off tonight's show. With that as our preview show. A lot of new faces in the AFC North. You know, Todd Monken in Cleveland, Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh. The Mike Tomlin era is over. The John Harbaugh era is over. Jesse Minter now over there in Baltimore. And then you've got the Zach Taylor, who is now the longest tenured coach of the AFC North, which, if you would have told me about a year ago that we'd be sitting here on July 27th, 2026, and Zach Taylor was still employed and the longest tenured coach in that division, I would have told you were insane. But that's where we are. So, Tyler, I want to start this show. I usually I segue to you, but I know where I want to start this show tonight. I want to start this in Cleveland.
Okay.
I want to start over in Cleveland because the one thing we will say, the Cleveland Browns have a lot of talent on that roster. Myles Garrett era is over. He is now a Ram. Of course, we talked about the Rams a lot last week. We're not going to talk about them this week. But there's still a very big question for the Cleveland Browns heading into the 2026 season. Who should be the starting quarterback? Which I feel like that's a question that Cleveland Browns fans ask themselves every year. But still, we all know where this is heading. It is going to be a training camp battle between Shedeur Sanders and the now healthy Deshaun Watson. So, Tyler, I'd like this is where I will hand the floor to you. Where do you think this quarterback controversy will end at the end of training camp, heading into the 2026 season?
Where do I think it'll end? Well, for one, sorry, Cleveland fans, I don't think it'll ever end with the QB controversy. It seems like they are just, they were cursed before, And then they got Baker Mayfield, and what they did with him just put a double curse on him. I don't know how it works. But taking a look at Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, I feel like the option should be obvious for the best fit for the team and the best fit for the at least near future of the team's success. Everybody knows that Deshaun Watson, ever since being dealt to Cleveland, has been one of the biggest busts in probably modern NFL history. One of. All the controversy that was going on, taking on a huge contract, nothing was right about it. And yet Cleveland said, this is our guy. Fast forward 3 years. Seems like a lot longer than that. 3 seasons, I should say. He's given them a combined, let's see, 19 games in 3 seasons. A little over 3,300 passing yards over 3 seasons. Not each season, in total. And when he is on the field, he just doesn't look like the same Deshaun Watson that everyone respected prior to certain things. On the football field. On the football field. Not in a massage parlor.
There you go.
Respected on the football field back in Houston. So, I for one, I don't think Deshaun Watson deserves the chance to be the starting quarterback. I don't care how much money they're paying him. I don't care how much money they have already paid him. I don't care how bad it looks for the front office that decided to trade for him and that contract. You have a chance to try to make steps in the right direction. And that right direction is another quarterback that you tried to, blackball, almost run off the team, essentially. The guy who you pity drafted, Dylan Gabriel, just to make him fall down draft boards. And now Dylan Gabriel's probably about to be cut by the end of training camp. Shedeur Sanders, in 8 games last year, 56% completion percentage, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I think the interceptions, they kind of came earlier on as he was just trying to, get his NFL starter legs underneath of him. And I'm going back, I'm looking at the games here. No, it was actually toward the midway to the end stretch of him starting from November up until the beginning of January. But the team was doing terrible. He was put into a rough situation to begin with. And I, for one, do feel like, yes, I've always had the criticisms, and I still do, that I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a franchise quarterback. I still believe that. Could he maybe work his way into being a really good backup or possible fringe starting quarterback for needy organizations as a game manager? Maybe. Maybe he can carve that role out for himself. Still obviously don't view him as an elite quarterback talent or prospect. But I think he deserves that starting job over Deshaun Watson any day. 7 days a week.
Anthony, first of all, good evening. But are you telling us something or asking us something? If you're trying to tell us something, I'm kind of afraid of what the answer is.
At least Kirk Cousins won't get hurt on the bench. I don't know.
I think Kirk Cousins is.
Maybe if you bench Kirk, it requires less massage tables on the sideline.
Why? Oh my God, I hope there's not many Browns fans watching this show. We're going to get ripped to shreds.
I think Browns fans would agree. I need to meet the Browns fans that would rather have Deshaun Watson starting than Shador Sanders.
Yeah, man, that's that may be a very, very minimal amount of people.
Because you got to look at the upside, right? Deshaun Watson already hit his ceiling, and now he's falling downstairs. Shador Sanders still has a ceiling that he could get to. There's still potential with him if you go that route. I'm not saying that that Shador Sanders is light years better, an obvious pick than Deshaun Watson, but a younger guy showed that he got a little bit more comfortable in the system last year. He obviously made a lot of changes. I think that if they go to maybe a more run prominent team with, a combo of Judkins and Sampson, I think that could take a lot more pressure off of Shador Sanders as well.
Which, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up. We do have a Quinshon Junkins injury update. Quinshon Junkins is a full go at training camp after suffering a season-ending injury last season.
Nice.
So, very big news for the Browns to get their young RB1 back in the fold for the full stint of training camp and not having to worry about limitations, because that run game last year, that was pivotal for them. And when he went down, that was kind of rough.
Mm-hmm.
But also last year, like I said, I feel like Shador was put in a lose-lose situation. First of all, I'm sorry. I know the talent level between the two doesn't look like it's so much greater. There's no reason that Dylan Gabriel should have been drafted ahead of Shador Sanders. I think it's just that obvious. I feel like that was just the Browns being petty. And also, from what it looked like to me from an outsider's point of view, I feel like Shador was set up for failure because I'll be right now, I don't think Kevin Stefanski really wanted anything to do with that situation.
No, I don't think he did either. That's why I think it was the best decision that they made, parting ways with Stefanski. And ultimately, them still choosing to draft Shador Sanders. Got later into that draft, and they were like, look, we let you pick the other guys you wanted earlier in the rounds, Kevin, but he's still on the board. We got to take him. Everyone knows that he's better than Dylan Gabriel. They weren't going to let that pass up.
Taylor Green, who they just drafted this past year, is better than Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, he's probably going to end up making their. I think he'll end up taking the third quarterback spot. I don't think they carry 4 quarterbacks.
Oh.
It is the Cleveland
let's
Browns.
Remember who we're talking about here.
Browns.
But Taylor Green's an athlete. I'll say that he is an athlete. I will say that. Anthony said you paid Kirk a lot of money to be on the bench. Why he can't keep Watson on the bench? And Anthony, again, here's the thing. When the Falcons had Kirk Cousins, they drafted Michael Penix. They view Penix as their quarterback of the future.
I mean, yeah, that's a little bit of a different situation. Penix was a first-round quarterback, although a lot of people saw him going maybe, middle or later in the first. Not at pick number 8, but there was a little bit more justification there. Now, I get it. The money is money. You paid Kirk to come in and be your starting quarterback. That's what the contract's numbers stated. And then you went and you drafted someone else. And then you opted to go with him. So, I don't know if I would say that's the exact same scenario.
Back to the Watson thing is like, Browns ownership is not going to put that many assets into a player and watch them sit and rot on the bench.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate thing. I agree with I personally think Shador should be the starting quarterback week 1, because what is starting Deshaun Watson at this point getting you?
You've already seen That's the other thing too. He's already given the sample size. Injuries aside, he's started, you know, first halves of some seasons with them. They didn't look good. He didn't look good. So why are you just going to go back to the same thing expecting a different result? Why not go with the guy who's going to go into his second year, more experience, new system, and showed some promise last year?
I just don't know why there is even. I understand. And Todd Monken, I mean, look, I like Todd. I think he's kind of just a placeholder to get them through this whole figuring out
Yeah,
process. I mean, look, comes from a good organization in Baltimore. Maybe some of that can rub off on the Cleveland Browns for once
they
because,
can hope.
yeah, 'cause I mean, the whole organization's it's been a mess for a very long time. And I mean, I don't know how easy it is to get back, get away from all that stuff. But Watson does nothing for you. At least with Shador, you're playing of giving a sample size to see what you have. I can't base off of what he did last year. That team's a mess last year. Clearly Stefanski. I mean, Stefanski wasn't even giving him like plays and practices
Yeah,
to run. So how is he supposed to know what he's doing at the NFL level when his head coach didn't even want nothing to do with it? So I don't see how you benefit giving any type of a starting job to Deshaun Watson. It does nothing for you. The guy hasn't played. He hasn't even hit double digits in a game in a season playing for the Cleveland
nope.
Browns. If you want to look at this is. I just looked this up like maybe 2 minutes ago while you were talking. Deshaun Watson, his final 3 years in Houston, games 16, 15, 16. In Cleveland, he's played 19 games in 3 years.
Yep.
Touchdown. I'm just gonna base this off his last season. 2020, 2021 was his final year in Houston. He threw for 4,823 yards. He's only thrown for a little over 3,300 in 3 years in Cleveland. In 2021, he threw 33 touchdown passes. He's thrown 19 in 3 years in Cleveland. In 2021, he only threw 7 interceptions that year in Houston. He's thrown 5, 4, and 3 in his 3 years in Cleveland. And on that final note, in the 2020-2021 season, he averaged 301.4 passing yards per game. He has yet to average 190 in Cleveland. What are you getting by giving him another chance? Somebody please explain it to me. What are you getting by starting Deshaun Watson, coming off a torn
Yeah.
Achilles twice?
His performance from that 2020 to 2021 season, I can give Cleveland the respect of, okay, you give him two bad years, 2 rough years going through injury. I'm sorry. The 2024 year probably shouldn't have been considered a starter. Shouldn't have gotten that shot. So if I'm coming into this year now, off of again major injury, he's on my bench. Let him
Yeah,
transition into a backup quarterback because he's 30 years old, coming off of many big injuries.
yeah. Like, and Anthony, look, if you have a top five, Anthony asks, what if you have a top five pick next year and you trade Sanders away and are drafting a
I don't.
quarterback? That's fine because
But even
Anthony,
then,
let, point, let me point this out real quick. Just because I'm saying Shador Sanders should start over Deshaun Watson, that doesn't mean there's a drastic level of difference between the two and the
I said
results.
earlier, he should be their starting quarterback this year. I don't view him as their franchise quarterback. So yes, if you pick in the
Yeah,
top five next year, I wouldn't say you have to trade. You don't need to trade him. I mean, if he plays well this year, but you still feel like there is a bigger name out there to get, which there could be, then okay, if you could trade him away and maybe even get a little bit more than what you drafted him, what was he, fifth round that he went?
Yeah,
Fifth round pick. Let's say you flip him for a third or a fourth. That's a win.
exactly. So again, I don't see the benefits of Deshaun Watson starting for the Browns. It all just to me is going to become another
It's going to be same
gigantic.
garbage over and over again.
Yes, it's going to be the same garbage overall, and it's not like I'm saying they're going to be a playoff team. They're going to win 10 games. I'm not saying that, but there is a young nucleus in Cleveland. They have got a lot of talent on that roster. The quarterback
And
position's a
I
mess.
like how well they strengthened their offensive line this year.
I basically redoing the entire
Yeah.
thing.
They rebuilt it from the ground up. So that's already going to make it
Literally.
easy enough from if it is somehow happens to be Watson back there or if it is Shador back there.
I mean, just let's look through it. You trade for Titus Howard. You signed Zion Johnson. You drafted Spencer Fano. You re signed Tevin Jenkins. You signed Elgton
Mm-hmm.
Jenkins. Literally, the entire starting offensive line is different heading into this year. And that, to me, is an effect on why they hired Todd Monken. Because if there's one organization that knows the importance of offensive line play, it's the Baltimore Ravens. And Todd Monken has been around that for a very long time under John Harbaugh.
Yep.
And I thought Fana was one of the top 2 to 3 tackles in that draft. Zion Johnson was one of the best interior offensive linemen on the free agent market. Titus Howard is a very serviceable offensive lineman, and he's a little, he could play both tackle and guard. He played a little guard in Houston last year, but it looks like he'll be the starting right tackle. Tevin Jenkins is probably the right guard. Spot's his to lose. And Elgton Jenkins is a former Pro Bowler at center.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty solid start to building a new offensive line. Now, will all the pieces work out? We have to wait and see. But for a team that went into the offseason with the entire starting offensive line free agents, which I don't know if I've ever heard of that happening in the NFL
Yeah.
before. A team has their entire offensive line going into free agency. I don't
This
think
is the
I've
Cleveland
ever heard
Browns.
something like that before. That is also true. But
Only a
still,
fundamentally sound organization like the Cleveland Browns could pull that off.
He's trying to trigger people tonight, I say. You are trigger happy tonight. You're trying to trigger the fans, or one in particular. You're trying to bait another co-host on this platform here. So I see what you're doing there, sir.
Let's dive into the rest of that offense. I mean, they still have Jerry Jeudy. They went and drafted Concepcion. They drafted Denzel Boston. I mean, they got these contrasting wide receivers, which I love so much. You have Denzel Boston, your big guy, big frame target. Concepcion, 6 foot speedster, and then Jerry Jeudy. You know what you're going to get from him. Good pass catcher, good route runner, and not to mention the emerging Harold Fannin, who's going
Don't forget my guy.
because we both got to see him in person. Yeah, he was giving Penn State the fits, and that was a really good Penn State defense too.
It was, and Bowling Green gave us the business for that first half. They were right on in that game 2 years ago.
So yeah, the emergence from him this year too, gonna be key. So I'm looking at there's a lot of different pass targets. Having a veteran like Judy is going to help if it is Shador Sanders. Harold Fannin, he's going to help. And again, the offensive line and the running back duo that they have. Because Judkins is great, I think Dylan Sampson has a chance to be great as well.
He definitely has a chance to be a very good change of pace back for that offense. Especially, again, with the way the Browns roster is set up, it is perfect for how Todd Monken worked in Baltimore. They ran the football a lot in
Mhm.
Baltimore, so guess what? Junkins and
Oh,
Sampson, big role coming up. I wonder if Monken walked in and said, "Wait, what's this here? Oh, that's our wide receiver depth chart. You have depth charts for wide receivers? I thought you only had one." Since Baltimore's only had Zay Flowers for like 3 years now and nothing else.
yeah.
But like you said, you have a combination of wide receivers who all complement each other really well. You have Jerry Jeudy, who again, just a productive receiver. Is he great? No. But is he awful? No. He's in the middle. He's a very right at the average point of a wide receiver. He can give you a decent amount of receptions and be the veteran in a room. But then you have the two youngsters with Boston, like you said, big body target, 50-50 ball guy. And then you have Concepcion. And I know a lot of Browns fans, the night they drafted Concepcion, they weren't too thrilled about it. I think a lot of it made them feel better after they were able to still snag Boston in
Yeah.
round two. It made them feel a little bit better. Here's the thing. Concepcion is a speedster. He's a
Yep.
playmaker. He is the guy that you could put the ball in his hands only 3 times a game, but he will make impactful plays all 3 times with that
Mhm.
football. So that is why they went and got Concepcion. They needed some speed, they needed some playmaking, and that's really going to help them. This is the thing about the Browns. Their roster's so good. It's just that the most important position on the football field is the problem. Like, and then again, Junkin, Sampson, Fan Jr., like they are primed up to have a very solid offensive unit. And it's a unit that's all young. I mean, Fannon's only entering year 2.
Yep.
Concepcion and Boston are both rookies. Junkins and Sampson are only entering year 2. So they've got the potential here to really get this, really kind of put a little bit of a core together here.
This is what should be a start of hopefully a legitimate rebuild for the Browns. I feel like people have been waiting to see that for years now, decades even. I don't know. We'll need George to chime in for that.
We need a lot of guys to kid for that.
Clint.
Yeah, I was say Clint, Adam, all those guys.
Uh,
Oh, Anthony, Isaiah Bond's got
he has speed.
Bond's got speed too, but
Concepcion's the better playmaker, though. But yeah, I mean, you can't forget about Bond. Off of 18 catches last year, he had 338 yards, almost a 19-yard average.
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, they have a lot of different contrasting pieces in the wide receiver room. That's what I like so much what they did.
Yeah, and then again, and look, if the focal point of the offense turns out to just be Harold Fannin and these wide receivers play pivotal roles alongside him, perfect. Because Harold Fannin Jr. is going to be a really good player. They have got a plethora of young talent waiting on that offensive unit. And also, not to mention, we were talking about the offensive line. They also drafted Austin Barber as well
That's
in
right.
the 3rd round out of Florida.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be your swing tackle type.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if you go to the other side of the football and you look at the defense, even after trading away what is the best defensive player in this era,
Yes,
there's still talent there.
there is. Like getting the young player in Jared Verse. We all know Myles Garrett's window, for at least for winning a championship, was coming to a close. Definitely in Cleveland, it was never open to begin with. So that is what it was. It needed to happen for both sides, and I think the Browns still walk out winning that in a way. Because yes, you're trading away the best defensive player that we've seen, but you're also retooling for hopefully a younger team and building a core that you can actually hopefully one day use yourself to contend in the AFC. I'm not going to go as far as, saying the word championship in Cleveland in the same sentence. That's not going to happen. But at least working towards becoming a playoff team consistently. Hopefully, they can make some of those early steps right now.
And I mean, if you look at the defensive unit here, they've got talent all over that unit. I mean, you have Mason Graham at the defensive tackle position, who they just drafted last year out of Michigan. You have Jarrett Verse, like you said. They have Alex Wright, who's another young edge rusher, who's only 25 years old, who they really like. You have Carson Schlesinger coming off a tremendous rookie season last year at the linebacker position. And then you go into the secondary. You still have guys like Tyson Campbell, who still has talent. You still have Grant Delpit. You still have Ronnie Hickman, who's carved out a solid role there. Still got Denzel Ward playing the one corner. You have Emmanuel McNeil Warren, who they got the second round of this past year's draft.
Yeah, I feel like that was a steal for them. He landed perfectly there.
There is a lot
they
of
even
talent.
Have Justin Jefferson playing defense.
Okay, yes. No, we are not doing that.
Why not?
But this Browns team definitely still has a lot of talent on both sides of the football. And they even signed Quincy Williams, who's the brother of Quinnen Williams, also gives us some snaps at linebacker. They have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. There is no doubt in my mind that they do have a lot of talent on that football field every Sunday. They honestly have some of the better young talent in the sport. It all just comes down to the quarterback position. Who's it going to be, Watson or Sanders? And personally, I think it has to be Sanders. I don't see where do you benefit by starting Deshaun Watson at quarterback, except you're going to have probably another PR nightmare.
One way or another, because he's either going to suck or any other option.
What are the other options besides that?
Yeah.
But personally, like I said, I would go with it. Should be Shedeur. Give the young kid the opportunity to see if he can play in this league now that he has a head coach who's at least willing to work with him. Because, like I said, you saw it last year. I don't think Stefanski really wanted anything to do with it.
And again, what have we seen from Stefanski as a coach in Cleveland? He likes the passing game. The passing game walked out the door with Baker Mayfield.
A lot of things walked out the door with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. That's where someone needs to give a stern talking to the Browns front office and tell them, we don't care how much you paid him. He's not worth it, and he's not going to benefit.
That's the issue.
Yeah, that's the issue, is because they're still just trying to get their money's worth. The guy has literally played 19 games in 3 seasons for them. They're trying to get their money back. But it's not worth it at this point. You got to just take the loss.
19 games, and has he had one good game in those 19?
Because if he had even a few good games, his numbers would probably look a little bit better.
Maybe. But, yeah, again, there should not be this much question around a team that has this much talent, because they do have a lot of talent.
Yeah, and it comes down to, at the end of the day, it's still the Cleveland Browns organization that has come to bring such a strong negative connotation to it. From what was once a great organization, talked about by everybody, now they're talked about for all the wrong reasons. For a long time now. So it's almost like, when is the curse of Cleveland finally going to be lifted? Who's going to do it? Is it going to be bringing in the Monken as a head coach? Is it going to take for the next head coach cycle? Whenever that may be. Is it going to take until they draft a quarterback in the top 5? I don't know. But all I know is that on paper, this depth chart, it's one of the better ones that Cleveland has had.
Yeah. Anthony, I'm going to look that up right now, actually, since you asked that. Hmm. All right, looking what I'm seeing here, Deshaun Watson's 5-year, $230 million contract with the Cleveland Browns is fully guaranteed, meaning standard injuries do not void his base salary or allow the team to cut him to escape the financial commitment. However, the contract contains an insurance policy and a prohibited activities clause.
So if he gets
I
hurt
wonder
doing,
what the
oh wait, now we're not
I
going down
wonder
that road. Nope, nope, nope.
prohibited. I wonder what
Segue,
the
segue. Nope.
I wonder
Nope.
what those
Even I'm not
activities
touching
could
that
be.
joke.
Hey, I'm not going to massage that joke at all.
You did it.
But no, but that's the worst part of this whole thing. That whole contract is fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's
So Watson
ownership,
don't
and
care.
that's the problem.
Watson doesn't care if he starts it all this year. They'll be like, all right, yeah, throw Shadur in there. I'll sit on the bench and hold the clipboard.
And that's the other thing, because that's the thing. I know you brought up the entire thing.
No, Anthony, that's the opposite. That's what that is what the Cleveland front office has been saying for the last 12 months. We got to just start Watson. We're paying him all the money. We got to do it. We got to do it because of the money. Screw the money. You're going to either pay him the money if he starts and he sucks, or if he sits on the bench, you guys either suck or do better. The money's still going out, regardless. So are you really basing this off of the hope that he's going to rewind the clock after 2 Achilles tears to 2020, 6 years ago, and he's going to throw for over 4,000 yards and over 30 touchdowns? Is that really the hope that Cleveland should be sitting on?
Fighting Philly, it's far from getting a new car. No, it's like getting a new car and instead of it being your driveway all the time, it loves to be at the mechanic's office getting maintenance.
I was going to
done
say
on
it's
it.
like getting a new car and then all 4 tires go flat.
You didn't pick up what I was trying to do with that joke, but
I did what I needed to do.
Car needs a lot of tune-ups. Let's say that. No, fighting Philly, what that's like is like somebody gets a brand new car and then they give it to their best friend, and they fleece them on the freaking asking price. And then after that, it's like, oh, well, let me just now that we've agreed to the point of sale and everything's been finalized. Transmission sucks. The gas mileage sucks. The AC doesn't work.
Console needs oil.
Yeah, pretty much. It's probably gonna need a new battery within the next 3 years. So, yeah, that's what it would be like. We've talked a lot about the Cleveland Browns
talked
here.
Too much about it. No, we've talked too much, not about the Cleveland Browns, about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's a good question. What is a
standard injury? Is anything that occurs during football activity. I think that's what they mean.
Okay. So
I think no, because I think that's what they mean by the what was the other part that you said? The insurance policy for something or other. But I'm pretty sure that had to do with if it was anything non-football related.
The contract contains an insurance policy and a prohibited activities clause.
Yes. So I'm sure I know one major thing on that prohibited activities list, but I know there's probably a lot more on there that include, not doing things to get yourself injured unrelated to football. Like, not going on a motocross tour or something like that.
Yeah, that's how Madison Bumgarner got hurt. He went on ATVs and messed his shoulder up. That was a scary situation. Nope, not doing that. We're not doing this tonight. We had such a great show last week. We're not doing it. All those comments were last week's show was all Niners and Seahawks fans going at it in the chat. Not doing this one.
Oh.
These aren't even your teams. Not doing it. All right, we're moving on. Moving on to another team. All right, Tyler, where do we want to go next in our AFC North conversation here? And please,
we massaged that topic too long.
Oh, dear God.
Let's move on to another fundamentally sound organization, shall we? Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, dear God. This is going to go from bad to worse.
It is. So, I don't even know what to say about the Bengals at this point. I mean, one, how many games is Joe Burrow going to play? Two, who's actually going to be good on their offensive line? Three, how many times is Joe Burrow going to get sacked before he gets injured? Four, it's hard to find a good edge rusher.
No comment on that one. I mean, yeah, after coming off of a very stellar 2024-2025 season, Burrow in that year, he had 4,918 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks, but then last year, again, only limited to 8 games, threw for 1,800, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He was on pace to have a good season. The problem is he got hurt again.
Is he going to turn into like the CMC of quarterbacks?
I think, are we not already there?
We kind of are, I think.
I was like, are we not kind of just there already with him? Because it's like every other year the guy's hurt.
Yeah. Hasn't had a back-to-back healthy season since 2021, 2022.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's kind of the key for the Bengals is you need Joe Burrow to be healthy. And because if Joe Burrow's not healthy, I mean, is Jake Browning anybody?
Oh, brother. No, good thing for them, Jake Browning's not on the roster anymore. They realize the errors of their ways. Would you like to hear their depth chart, Sam? They got...
Do I want to hear
the GOAT Joe Flacco backing him up, who when he had to back up and they made that trade for him from Cleveland, remember that? Joe Flacco kind of came in and saved the day because Jake Browning was that bad. They also got Josh Johnson, NFL journeyman. And your favorite, Sam, Sean Clifford. Can you believe it? You're going to have to watch some Bengals games this year. I think I broke them.
I have no words for this, but fighting Philly, this may be the comment of the night. Burrow's just waiting for Stafford to retire so the Rams can trade for him.
Man.
No, he's far from that.
Oh, no, he definitely is, dude. He went there for 10 years. Name another quarterback that played for 10 years in college.
Diego Pavia.
I don't think he played for 10 years, but he definitely went to college for 10 years.
Anthony said it won't matter. Burrow gets injured. They have a good backup with that wide receiver group. Yeah, but here's the other thing. The bigger issue with the Cincinnati Bengals, yes, Joe Burrow staying healthy is one of them. Their defense couldn't stop a Pop Warner team over the past few seasons. Since they refused to pay any of their defensive stars. Jesse Bates, gone. DJ Reader, gone.
Mhm.
Trey Hendrickson, gone. They don't pay anybody on the defensive side of the football. Now, offensively, like I said, Burrow's healthy. Even with Joe Flacco, that's fine. They have a decent offense still. You know, Chase Brown, very solid running back, had a very solid year last year. Ran for over 1,000 yards, caught 69 passes for 437 yards last year. Very solid year for Chase Brown.
He did.
Of course, we know what Jamar Chase and T. Higgins give you. We already know that. Didn't they still have Mike Gesicki at tight end? They're offensively they're okay. They're in good shape there. Their defense, on the other hand, has been one of the worst units I've seen in the NFL over the past 2 to 3 years now.
Yep.
But now, look, they've attempted to fix it. They signed Jonathan Allen. They drafted Cassius Howe because God knows the edge rusher they drafted last year didn't work out.
For Dexter Lawrence.
They got Dexter Lawrence. They signed Boye Mafe away from the Seahawks.
They still have B.J. Hill.
Yeah, you got B.J. Hill, who I believe is starting of the year on the
pup list.
Well, I think he's on the pup. Yeah, he's on the pup right now. You go to linebacker. You know, they drafted Demetrius Knight. Kind of funny. They actually, on their current roster, they have Antoine Powell-Ryland, who was with the Eagles last year. That's kind of funny. And then if you go into the secondary, Jordan Battle, solid. They signed Brian Cook in free agency away from the Chiefs. They also signed Kyle Duggar. I forgot Kyle Duggar was still in the league.
Me too.
But they're at least trying to fix some parts of their defense. Their defensive line has gotten a lot better.
It has. They made sure of that.
With the additions, you know, we still having Hill, bringing in Jonathan Allen, drafting Cassius Howe, bringing guys like that in. But Dexter Lawrence right now, that's the big one right now because they need their defensive. If we know anything, if there is a unit on a football field that can mask a weakness, it's a defensive line dominant.
And I'm scared of that combo of Dexter Lawrence and Jonathan Allen.
Yeah. And I kind of like the approach with the edge rushers. I know Trey Hendrickson being gone is a big miss because he's a great player. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, you know, when you have that, it's kind of like the way the Eagles and teams like that run. Say they with Seattle, they'd rather have the big money in the middle
because then it makes everyone else's job easier. Said.
Exactly. So going with that kind of balanced approach at edge rusher with multiple bodies like Mafe, Cassius Howe, like we said, Shamar Stewart, can he still develop into a decent NFL player? I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on it either. Anthony, this could go for any NFL team that has employed that man.
Do not sign that man. Not even if it's a vet.
I don't believe he's on their team anymore, so I think they're in good shape.
I thought last I saw he was on 49ers.
Oh, dear God.
I don't know if that was as of last year.
The only Niner that was...
Actually, I gotta check. He is still on the Niners. Let's see if he makes it through training camp.
That is... Well, no, he'll be the only Niner to stay healthy. Because God knows that's... That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Yeah. But no, the Bengals, again, another team. I don't know how good they could be. But defensively, I think they're better. But they need Joe Burrow to stay healthy. And I different. I know we had some Bengals fans commenting in the chat earlier in the offseason about the
Yeah.
continuity of the same
Yeah,
starting
the
offensive
return in
line
low
coming
line.
back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sold on that
Yeah.
unit.
Granted, we could be completely wrong. Maybe they are a good unit, and another year playing next to each other is really going to, change things for the better for them.
Yeah, because like this team hasn't even come close to hitting their potential since they got to that Super Bowl in 2021. They haven't come close to it. However, outside of Jalen Hurts, the only other quarterback in this league, the only other quarterback that has proven in this league that they could take Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs is Joe Burrow.
I,
He's the only one that has
I will
proven it.
say one thing about that Cincinnati O line last year. They only allowed Burrow to get sacked about, I think, 17 times before he got hurt. And they only allowed Flacco to get sacked 18 times. That's not terrible numbers amongst offensive line groups in the NFL.
I saw Caleb Williams in his first year in
Yeah,
Chicago. And like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that unit starts putting together some consistency, but
gotta wait and see.
it's been. I need to see a lot from it before I can make that assessment. But again, the Bengals' biggest issue has been Joe Burrow staying healthy and their defense. Their defense has been one of the worst in the league, and it's their own fault because they
Yeah.
continue. I mean, for God's sakes, they were in contract disputes with Shamar Stewart on a rookie deal. What NFL team gets into a rookie dispute with a
With a
rookie
rookie
player
that
on
did,
a
I don't
rookie
even know, did he
contract?
even have a sack in his last college season?
I think he had like a half a
Yeah.
sack. And last year, in his rookie year, he had one
Yeah.
sack. Again, they had to draft Cassius Howe for a reason, who ironically went to the same school, Texas A&M. But no, I think they're hoping, with the combination of him and Mafe and Dexter Lawrence and still having BJ Hill and bringing in Jonathan Allen, bringing in that pressure on the defensive line will hopefully have everything else in the defense kind of settle into
Yeah.
place. So hopefully they can do it because, again, if Joe Burrow's healthy, we know what that offense can do. We know what the talent is with Jamar Chase. We know what the talent is with T. Higgins. We don't need to be told these things from them. We know what they're capable of doing. It's just that at what point does the defense actually can they make a play? Can they make plays at any point? Because again, it has been awful defensively for them
Awful is an understatement.
since that Super Bowl year. Because everybody's gone. Jesse Bates is gone. Reeder's gone. Hendrickson's gone. Sam Hubbard retired. Like, it's just been bad ever since. And they've done nothing to fix it.
Yep.
So hopefully all those additions that I said, with Lawrence and all those guys and Brian Cook in the back end will save it. Will start to get it better. But you're in a division where there's a lot of defensive talent. Eventually you're going to have to get a stop here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I'm not sure how this division is going to turn out, but the Bengals need a lot of things to go right for them this year. And the first thing it starts with keep Joe Burrow upright. Because again, it's like when healthy, top two quarterback in the league. And I'm comfortable saying that he's top two.
I'll do one. I'll do one better because I'm actually getting tired of blaming the Bengals offensive line for Joe Burrow's injuries. How many times have we seen other quarterbacks constantly getting sacked? Terrible offensive lines. Do they get hurt almost every year? No. So why do we blame the Cincinnati Bengals O line for his injuries? And mind you, again, only sacked 17 times in the what was it, 9 games he played? 8 games that he played. 17 times. It's not that outrageous.
No.
But he gets hurt, so we got to blame somebody. Rather than just blaming the fact that he is just a more injury prone player.
Yeah, I mean, last year was the turf toe injury. I don't even know if he was good. Like, I don't even know if he got hit. I don't even that involved him
I
getting
don't.
hit. I think he just kind of made a wrong
Mm-hmm.
step. But here's the problem when you say that. It's not just the amount of times they get sacked. It's the amount of times they get hit when releasing the ball.
Yeah,
That's the other
that
thing.
is
It's just the constant hits that these guys take. And he has taken a lot over the years while playing quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying right now. But at some point, there has to be a way where you. And I agree with you. He has to stay healthy. But again, like that unit has to be better. It still has to be better. It's not one of the top units in the league. It's not Philly, even with Philly's down year last year. It's not the Lions. It has to be better. Now, hopefully, like we said, going into a second year together will help them. But they have to keep Joe Burrow upright if they want to have any type of sustainable success. I don't care how he looked in 7, 8 games last year. Joe Flacco is not going to hold up for a full season. He's 39 years old. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
The only way the only way any success is coming this year for the Bengals is Joe Burrow has to stay on the football field. Because, like I said, when he is healthy, he's a top 2 quarterback in this league. And you can disagree with me on that any day and twice on Sunday. But when he's healthy and going right, I'll take him over Lamar. I'll take him over Josh Allen. Because once again, outside of the guy in Philly, the only other quarterback that has been able to step up toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes and beat him in the postseason has been Joe Burrow. I will take that to the bank every day and twice on Sunday.
Because you didn't realize that they were closed on Sunday.
Exactly. And I'll still take it to the bank and I'll deposit it myself. Because guess what? Outside ATMs are still open on Sunday, so nice try. But no, because again, I think we did last year when we did our top 10 quarterbacks heading into last season. I think I had him 1. I'm pretty sure I had him 1.
I mean,
Going into last
after
season.
almost throwing 5,000 yards, yeah, 43 touchdowns, yeah. I think I probably had him there too. If not, he was 2.
Exactly, because I mean it's him or
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes. Take your pick. Now going into this year,
Yeah,
maybe a little
because
bit. Our
they
top 10
both
list will be
got
a little
hurt,
different.
so this gonna
Yeah,
mess things
so
up.
it's gonna be
All right, J.O.,
this
it's
year's
for
top 10
you.
quarterbacks. This this year's top 10 quarterbacks list is gonna be pretty damn interesting. I'm ready for those top 10 lists. Come early August, we're gonna start getting those top 10 lists out. So, all right, let's keep this rolling here. Now let's roll over to the 2 teams that aren't really used to change, but they both made their changes this
You pick.
offseason. Let's start in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
We'll save the Ravens for last. We'll go to Pittsburgh. Well, Mike Tomlin era finally over.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped down, resigned. Should have resigned 4 or 5 years ago. Like,
Still got into the playoffs.
yeah,
He
okay,
did.
sort of.
Ask,
Mike McCarthy.
I was gonna say, tell the Cleveland Browns that he sort of got them to the playoffs. They would have loved to have the success that the Steelers had.
Mike Tomlin's not going. Trust me, Mike Tomlin ain't saving that crap.
No, not at all.
I don't know if Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes would save the Cleveland Browns at this point.
Might be onto something. I think that's I
I'm not
think
sure if it's
that's I
possible.
think that's their key to success. They need to have a mega trade.
Okay. A mega trade. Do you understand it would cost them every young, talented player on their roster to pull off said mega trade? Because you're not
Yes.
swapping quarterbacks.
Yes. Just keep two wide receivers.
Are you done with this ludicrous speculation that you're putting in your own head right now?
I'm sure they can sign Clyde Edwards-Helaire off of whatever waiver he's on.
Is he not on an NFL roster right
I
now?
doubt it. I'd be shocked.
I got it right here. No, he's not. He's a
Yeah,
free agent.
I was gonna say I'd be shocked.
But no, let's get into the Steel. Let's get into the Steel City here. Like I said, Mike Tomlin out, Mike McCarthy in, Aaron Rodgers back for another year, and it is going to be his last.
And a reunion.
I will say it is a reunion. It is a Packers reunion from their last Super Bowl win. What are our thoughts on the Steelers heading into this year?
I'll be honest. I think this Steelers team shows more promise than last year. Last year, we saw how one-sided the offense was. If it wasn't DK Metcalf doing anything, or if he wasn't available, they couldn't move the football. So what do? Go out, get Michael Pittman. You still got Pat Fryermuth, Darnell Washington. They even got they got old man Robert Tunyon.
Don't forget they drafted Jeremy Bernard too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he's another one. He's going to be great for them.
Aaron Rodgers loves his taller slot
He
receivers.
does. The biggest one of all, bringing in Rico Dowdle. I think another problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year was the fact that they had two running backs that were very similar to each other in their play style with Gainwell and Warren. None of them were pure runners. They were both kind of good receiving backs that can run the football. But now Rico Dowdle, coming off the year he had last year in Carolina, he only had 1,076. The stretch of games that he put together to get there was ridiculous.
And that was playing kind of in a tandem with Chuba Hubbard. It's not like he was the full-on bell cow. They were both splitting the carries.
He was. But now he gets to come here to Pittsburgh. It's going to be interesting to see how much McCarthy wants to pass the ball versus run the football. But Dowdle, he's going to offer a lot of promise as a powerful runner, as your bell cow. And then Jalen Warren, great running back too, but also a very good receiving threat out of the backfield and a more elusive back. So they got a lot of weapons to work with. And Aaron Rodgers, he had another good year last year. I mean, 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He did enough of what was needed for him for them to win games. Granted, with his only wide receiver being DK Metcalf.
Which is another reason why I think the Rico Dowdle move happened, is because I think with McCarthy, they're going to not become a run dominant team, but I think they want more of a closer to a split than just. I mean, look again. I agree with you. Aaron Rodgers last year was good for them. That's been the best quarterback play they've had since Ben left. That's an impressive year. And for people to say, oh, that's not a good year for Aaron Rodgers. He's 42 years old.
You need to start doing some scaling when you look at the age of the player versus the performance that they're putting up. For 42 years old.
Do you know what Browns fans would do to have numbers like that from a quarterback? They haven't seen that in like
Let's put this into context real quick, Sam. Aaron Rodgers last year threw for as many yards as Deshaun Watson has in his 3 seasons with the Cleveland Browns.
And threw more touchdowns than him.
And more touchdowns.
Anthony says in the chat, he says he thinks they overpaid Pittman.
I'm going to say no, because here's the thing, right? I get it. DK's still your number 1. Pittman's your number 2. You didn't have anything behind DK last year. It was a big drop-off. So before they drafted Bernard, they brought Pittman in. They didn't know they were going to have a shot at getting Jeremy Bernard. So paying that premium for Pittman, I think that's a very good safety blanket to have to strengthen up your wide receiving core, knowing what happened last year.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a lot of speed and a lot of burners? No, but man, if Aaron Rodgers wants to throw it up, man, they got a bunch of dudes that can go up and get it. I mean, last year, their wide receiver 2 candidate was Roman Wilson. Like, what are we doing? Now, you go in this year, like you said, you have Dowdle with Jalen Warren. I think that backfield duo is a lot better than what they had last year. No disrespect to Kenny Gainwell, but like you said, 2 running backs that are very similar. I mean, I think Kenny Gainwell was second on the team in receptions. Not anything rushing, no rushing statistics, receptions. Yes. So, I think having him there is... I think having that running back duo there now with Dowdle and Warren is a lot better of a fit. And again, now you have options on the offense. You can go to DK, you can go to Pittman, you can go to Bernard, you can go to Pat Freiermuth, who made me $5 richer last year. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. And Darnell Washington, who they just gave a contract extension to this offseason. He's probably going to be poised for a bigger year because Jonnu Smith's no longer there. You know, your favorite player, Jonnu Smith?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're welcome, buddy. You're always welcome for a reminder from me. If anybody in the chat's wondering what the heck we're talking about, Tyler and I had a little wager last year on which Pittsburgh tight end would have more receiving yards at the end of the year. I took Pat Freiermuth. He took Jonnu Smith.
He had 2 good
Pat
games.
Freiermuth won. He had 2 good games better than Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, you're right.
And even on the offensive line, I still think the O-line is solid enough. They drafted Max Ihanachort, of course, after the Mekhi Lemon draft situation. But it's felt like over the years now, and it's felt like this ever since Ben retired. Every year, the Steelers are just so reliant on their defense to keep them in almost every game. And they still have a lot of talent on that side of the football. Derek Harmon, young upcoming player. Cam Hayward, still going at this point of his career. And then, I mean, you still got T.J. Watt, still got Nick Herbig, who they just gave an extension to. You still have Alex Highsmith. So they're going to get after the quarterback. And in the secondary, they signed Jaquan Brisker in free agency. They brought in Jamel Dean to play corner, which I think could actually be a very underrated signing for them. They have Deshaun Elliott at safety. They still have Joey Porter. They still have Jalen Ramsey, who's kind of now making it looks like the transition out of the full-time corner role into being more of like a safety. They still Asante Samuel, who they signed midway through last year. He played 6 games and actually played pretty damn well for them. It's just felt like over the years that they've just been so reliant on their defense, which is still kind of an older unit. Like, again, with Hayward, he's getting up there in age. Watt's in his 30s. Ramsey's in his 30s. And it feels like, yeah, that unit's been good early on, but then late in the season when those old bodies they start to break down eventually. And it just felt like over the past few years, they have really struggled to get anything going offensively. And again, I've said that. They have been behind the rest of the league in terms of offensive production since Ben retired. And it's because he was such a great playmaker that they just he masked a lot of the Steelers' inefficiencies on the offensive side of the ball until he retired.
He did.
And I think, again, last year they were hoping Aaron Rodgers would do that. But again, you have to adapt to the league. Yes, is Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, and Jeremy Bernard the best wide receiver trio in the league? Absolutely not. But now you at least have three options on the football field that could catch 60 to, I think, easily could all catch at least 60 balls a year. Pat Fryermuth, Darnell Washington, Rico Dowdle, Jalen Warren, Aaron Rodgers. That is good enough. And I understand that people are like, oh, well, they're retreading again. Mike McCarthy has had a lot more offensive success in the NFL in the last 10 years than Mike Tomlin has. Go, and this is coming from a guy. You don't need to know what team I root for with the way my background's set up. You don't need to ask who I root for. Those Dallas Cowboy offenses with Mike McCarthy were far from the problem on why they lost in the playoffs. Those offenses were putting up points and yards, and Dak had some of his better years with Mike McCarthy as his head coach. Don't get me wrong. He had a really good year with Schottenheimer last year, but still, Mike McCarthy and that offense in Dallas were humming some weeks for those few years. They were humming. So, and again, it's not like he's coming in to teach a new guy. He's going back to team up with the guy he won a Super Bowl with in 2010.
Yep.
Now, you can also make the same case now. That's where him and Mike Tomlin are similar. They're both living off a Super Bowl. But Dustin, I'm glad to hear that everyone is okay. They had a tornado touchdown in his area today.
Oh man, that is scary.
Glad to hear everyone is okay and healthy. But yeah, like this is all the Steelers need to be this year, in my opinion. Slightly above average offensively than what they've been the last 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do.
They just need to have a slightly better offensive presence than they did even just last year. Because what you saw in the playoffs was the passing game fizzled out. DK missed the one game, and the whole offense looked like a shell of itself. And then the run game, they finally got beat. They got exposed. Because you have Jalen Warren, who's a good running back, but being a pure running back is not his strong suit. He's a better dual threat receiving back as well.
Yeah, and like you said, DK missed the one game. And last year, like we said he was the only option on the outside passing the football. So what does the offense look like in the game he doesn't miss? Ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, am I saying the Steelers are going to be this juggernaut offensively? No. But they right now, I am more confident in them heading into this year than I was last year. Last year I thought last year was a mess. And again, it's because Mike Tomlin never really wants to. They never really adapted to the modern day NFL in terms of offense. That's what they've done. And that's what Dustin said right here. He said they will be slightly better offensively. McCarthy is the presence. Say what you will about him, but the dude is a good play caller and typically has yes. And Dustin, I literally said that right before you jumped in the chat. Go look at the Cowboys teams. The Packers, that's a long time ago. I'm not going to go that far back. But
yeah,
look at the Cowboys offense. They were a pain in the rear end to play against. They were a pain because you could never stop them. They always found a way to put up points. And they have weapons on every level of the offense. Like I said, you have the run game now. You have the wide receiver continuity. You don't have just one guy. Now you got three guys. You have good, solid tight ends. The O-line is decent. I wouldn't say I would say their O-line's great, but it's solid.
It's a solid unit. It's a good enough unit.
Yeah, and you know how you keep a defense with some older players? And they have some young players in there, too. I'm not saying they're all old men now, but do you want to know how you keep an older defense fresh? You keep them off the damn football field. That's what you do. You keep them off the football field. Dustin brings up that in his 18 years as a head coach, McCarthy's had a top 10 offense 15 times, a top 5 offense 6 times, and the top offense and the top offense in the league 4 times. Exactly. Wow. That's my point. That's all they need is just to be slightly above average and just a little bit better than what they were last year. They just need consistency.
Yeah.
And I think that this unit is a lot better constructed now than it was at this time heading into last season. So I have some good confidence about the Steelers going into this year. I'm not saying they're going to be a juggernaut, but I think they could definitely think they can make some noise.
Oh yeah, they definitely can.
Confident in the final year of Aaron Rodgers?
Oh yeah, I think he's with him retiring this year. I think he's going to go out on his own terms. I think he's going to have another good year. I don't think we're going to see a step back from him at all this year. I mean, he's always found ways to adapt his play style and still be a great quarterback.
Here's a good question I got for you. I got a very interesting question here for you. And to all our Steeler fans at home, you're more than welcome to answer this question as well. Do you think the Steelers currently have their quarterback of the future on their roster? Post Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. I'm gonna piss you off real quick. Yes, Will Howard.
I mean, you don't. I'm not gonna.
No,
I'm not.
I know where you're going with it, and I do agree. I do.
You
Drew
can say
Aller,
either of the two. I'm not gonna get mad at you.
yeah, no, but Drew Aller, he has the highest ceiling between those two. If you're looking at those two names, forget Mason Rudolph. He can go kick rocks.
We saw that experiment fail.
Yeah, but Drew Aller, I really hope he's able to just soak up and learn as much as he can from watching Aaron Rodgers play, one of the great quarterbacks of our time, and then being able to play under an offensive genius that Mike McCarthy is. Like Dustin just posted before, not many coaches can say this. There is a
No.
select group of few head coaches that can say that.
And Dustin said Steelers go 11-6, win the AFC North, and get to the AFC title game before losing. And Dustin, if they did that, Steeler fans would be raving.
Yeah, I think they would be upset, but I think they'd be also happy as well with how far of a run that they would have made.
Anthony, do me a favor. Stop letting Ohio State and Indiana be your daddy in the playoff before you start making Big Ten jokes at me.
Oh no! Oh no!
But Anthony goes, see, this is the thing about me and Anthony. We'll just take shit. It's getting to that time of the year now where the jabs are starting.
Yeah, what are we like a month away from? What is it? Week 0? They call it.
Whatever they call it, I don't care less. Just get me the football. I don't care if it's college or the NFL. Get me the football, man. I'm ready. My
All right,
baseball team
CFL.
stinks.
I'll send you the channel info.
You will not. All right, now let's dive into the final team of the AFC North, Tyler, the Baltimore Ravens. Another team,
Yes.
new face, new place. Jesse Minter in, John Harbaugh out. Young coaching staff over there in Baltimore now. Not only is it Jesse Minter, Anthony, who do you guys play your first game? I think we play like
Watch
March.
they open up against like
Here, let me
Indiana.
look. Oh God, that'd be awful. Hold on, let me go look at this real quick.
Trying to guess who could they open up against that Anthony would not like.
Anthony, you open against Boise State.
They don't
What am
have
I upset
Ashton
about?
Genty anymore.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Ohio State. Oh wait, is Boise State the Week 0 game, but their Week 1 is Ohio State? Because he just said Ohio State.
They don't play Ohio State till November.
Oh,
Anthony, you guys don't play Ohio State till November. Dust has one more stat about McCarthy before we move into the Ravens real quick. He said He is one of 4 coaches with at least 15 years of experience to have a winning percentage north of 600. Don Shula, Bill Belichick, and Andy Reid are the other 3. That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah. Say what you want. He knows how to win.
He does. And Anthony, you got Boise State. We freaking play. Who's my first game against? I
Oh,
tried
you guys
spelling Penn
probably
State with
play
3 N.
FIU again.
No, we played Marshall.
Marshall. Wow. The
Better
herd.
than playing Nevada last year.
That's true.
Our first month is blah. We got Marshall, Temple, Buffalo, and Wisconsin.
Well, hey,
We don't play Ohio.
you guys had to take a step back. All right, there's some big changes going on in Penn State football.
Oh yeah, we don't play Ohio State or Oregon this year. We got USC at home, and we're at Michigan in October. But that's really. I'm
Hey,
not
man,
saying I'm not.
like we always say about college football, you beat the teams that are on your schedule. If they could do that, and if they could put up a good performance against either at least USC or Michigan, one of the two, at least win one of those 2 games, I think they can make an argument, maybe not a super strong one, but an argument to maybe squeak in the playoffs.
Plus, you're going. I mean, you on to Michigan. You are going out to Ann Arbor, but you're going to a Michigan team that also is under a change and is also going with a new coach. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
you could steal that. I don't know about the USC one though. Lincoln Riley had that group playing pretty well last year. Dustin said Ohio State plays Sister Mary. Oh, good lord! Before
Jeez.
Big Ten play, and then they play a cupcake schedule every year. You wonder why they choke it away when the competition gets. Dustin's not wrong. All right, let's put Anthony into this since we've into our Ravens topics. Raise your hand if you can name 15 or 20 wideouts better than Zay Flowers. Oh my God! You want to do that live on the air? You go right ahead. I'm not
I
doing
don't
it.
know. I would need some time to put together a list, but I know I could do it.
I could easily get to 15. 20 is maybe a stretch.
20, yeah, 20. It might start getting close.
Because then you're putting Zay Flowers as a back 10 wide receiver. That's a
Yeah.
little outlandish. But Tyler, kick us off with the Ravens here. Like we said, whole new young coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, this is just this Ravens year is a lot of what ifs. I mean, the turnaround with the coaching staff, keeping a lot of your core, obviously led by Lamar Jackson, had a lot of games that he missed last year. He only played in 13. Numbers went way down. Derrick Henry had a quiet, amazing year of basically 1,600 rushing yards. And it was a very strong stretch towards the end of the season to really lock that up. Receiving core, I like that they went out and got Elijah Surratt, one of the guys that I kept name dropping throughout the entire draft process, and also picking up Jacoby Lane as well, just as a why not. So they finally decided, okay, maybe we should get Lamar Jackson some wide receivers that he could see over his offensive line rather than the 5'9" Zay Flowers. Now, I'm not knocking Zay Flowers at all. He's a great wide receiver. Had 1,200 yards last year, 14-yard per catch average. He's a very good playmaker when you get the ball in his hands. But this is the NFL. You need some bigger body guys that can also get open and get up and get the ball for you as well. 6'4" Jacoby Lane, 6'2" Elijah Surratt. I think Surratt's going to be definitely a better route runner for them than Jacoby Lane will. But if I'm looking at maybe Surratt and Lane on the outside and putting Flowers in the slot, it could open up the passing game a little bit for him.
I could see that. I'm going to make one minor change there. I think what I'm going to do there is I'm going to put. I'm going to put Flowers on the outside. I may have Surratt operate out of the slot.
Okay.
I like Lane on the outside for his size.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing. Here's the thing. Both of these wide receivers are very productive. Jacoby Lane was a very productive wide receiver at USC, and Surratt was really good at Indiana. The only problem is they played next to Omar Cooper and Mekhi Lemon. That was their biggest downfall. They played next to two really good wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, shout out Emmanuel Acho, who like 3 weeks ago tried to say Mekhi Lemon wasn't a first round. He was only a first round pick because it was a weak wide receiver draft.
Acho doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't take a lot of I don't take it personal from somebody who couldn't make it to FS1.
Oh man,
Anthony, this is something I very, very much agree with. I do not love their tight end group now without Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, most likely it will hurt them. See that, did they? Every pun intended. Yeah, I mean, why didn't they just offer him the contract? There was nothing stopping them. You're going to tell me that were you trying to cut money for the Lamar extension? Come on. Mark Andrews is not a tight end one anymore. Isaiah Likely should have been tight end one. Mark Andrews could have been tight end two. Could have been nice and easy. Call it a day. But no.
Unless maybe is this the way of them saying they're going to go away from the tight ends being their focal point of their offense? I mean, they are.
Right. Like you said, they changed up the coaching staff. This is no longer the John Harbaugh system. This is not the way of him having, 3 tight ends on his roster that he uses on almost, 50% of his downs as pass catchers and blockers.
That hasn't worked, though, since they had that 3-headed monster with young Mark Andrews, Nick Boyle, Hayden Hurst. Those 3, they all just did something well. Andrews was the receiver. Boyle did nothing but block. Hurst did both very solidly.
Yes.
Is where I'll leave it. You know what, actually, Dustin? I'm glad you brought this up because I just got a tweet about us about a minute ago. Former 3-time All-Pro safety Jamal Adams Adams, a linebacker last year for the Raiders, recorded 45 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 1 sack in his season last year with Vegas.
Sam, unfortunately, you're going to have to repeat that. Your mic decided it wanted to cut out after the breaking news.
Crap.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Apologies. All right, I'll read that off again. 3-time All-Pro safety Jamal Adams is signing with the Vikings. Adams, who switched to linebacker last year for the Raiders, recorded 45 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 1 sack in his lone season in Vegas.
Okay, well, there's your depth piece for the Vikings defense.
Where they put that depth piece, I have no idea. You know why I cut my mic out? We hit the breaking news thing. We haven't hit it in months.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, whoa, what is this? Cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. But no, back to what we were saying about the Ravens, I really do think there is a possibility that they are going to start running that offense a lot differently. I don't think you're going to see as much from the tight end position. And the other thing, look who their new offensive coordinator is. It's Declan Doyle, who just came from Chicago with Ben Johnson.
Yep.
I don't think Isaiah Likely does at the tight end position what Declan Doyle wanted. Because if you go watch Chicago, you know what those tight ends got to do? They got to block their rear ends off.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland, they're going to get their passes thrown to them, but they block their behinds off in that offense. Isaiah Likely isn't really much of a run blocker.
I was going to say, you know who doesn't block? Isaiah Likely.
And hold on. I'm not trying to come out here and say neither does Mark Andrews, but Isaiah Likely is also 26 years old.
Yeah.
So that's why he got his premium payday. And Isaiah Likely, where'd he sign, Tyler? with John Harbaugh.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And Dustin said it's Brian Flores' defense. He will find a place for Adams, and by God, he could be a Swiss Army knife and move around. That alone could be good. Yeah, you're not wrong. Anthony said the Ravens are in trouble. They can't tag or trade Lamar. It's pay him or let him go. I think they might start over and rebuild with someone new. Anthony, the only thing I'm going to say is once again that coaching staff is very young. It isn't the most outlandish thing to think about.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I mean, I'm not completely opposed to that. I think it's a possibility. If this year doesn't go the way that they want, the way that they envision, they might not want to lock him into a 5-year deal or whatever it may be.
The only way they do it is if they feel that they can win with Lamar Jackson, or do they feel like they've peaked?
Yeah.
It's another team that hasn't gotten over the hump in the AFC. So I completely understand where Anthony's going with this. Not saying that that's the case, but the Ravens have to sit there and ask themselves, you had one of the greatest opportunities in the sport. You had the AFC Championship game in your building and you lost.
Yeah.
You have yet to reach a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. At some point you have to ask yourself, have you just been getting a bad stretch of luck and you haven't gotten to that point because of other reasons, or did you peak? Now, this is an interesting one. Could Lamar end up in Minnesota if Kyler is a one and done? Vikings were linked to him last year, and before landing Darnold, I could see him in New Orleans as well. Or this could be an intriguing fit, replacing Rodgers and I don't think the freak. I have no confidence that Lamar would end up in Pittsburgh if that was the case.
Yeah, McCarthy and a mobile quarterback. McCarthy strikes me as a guy who loves his pocket passers.
I like the idea with Minnesota, though.
Yeah, Minnesota. I could see it because we don't know how Kyler's going to play this year.
Exactly. We have no idea how that's going to work out. But back into the outside of the Lamar Jackson discussion, which of course that will continue here. What else possibly are we looking at this year with the Ravens? Because again, young staff,
What I'm looking
a change.
I'm looking at the return of the Ravens defense because last year I don't know who was out on the field. That was not a Ravens traditional defense that we saw last year.
No,
they looked bad. And you look back on it, they didn't have a lot of people injured. It's not like they were missing everybody. They were not the 49ers defense, who, mind you, with all the injuries they had on defense, were still playing 10 times better than the Ravens defense. So it's a big year for a lot of these guys. A lot of your bigger name veterans, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, they brought in Trey Hendrickson. Roquan Smith needs to have a better year commanding the interior of the linebackers. They do need to get some good pressure. They need to get pressure from Matabike, from Calais Campbell, who came back.
Calais Campbell still.
I know, it's crazy. And he's still going to get them like 5-6 sacks.
At 39 years old.
Yeah.
And Matabike, I believe, is starting he is, I believe, right now on the PUP list. I do believe there is I don't believe opening day is a option. I think they said he is still expected to, but he is expected to return at some point this year, they said.
and looking for a better second year out of Mike Green. Last year he had 3.5 sacks. So hopefully he gets his footing at the NFL level and he can provide some more production for them.
Anthony, I just broke that like 2 minutes ago.
Oh man, Anthony wasn't watching.
Nope, that's the Anthony bomb. And Dustin said, Dustin, you're spot on. Minter comes from the Harbaugh system. They love to run the ball. Doyle loves to run the ball. And if Derrick Henry hit those numbers, I wouldn't be surprised one bit.
Yeah. So, hey,
And
you know what helps to run the ball more effectively, too? Having a mobile quarterback who can change things up, make defenses question if they're going to go after Henry or they're going to go after Lamar. It adds another layer to it.
I think the question that you got to start asking yourself, now that he's 29 years old, how many more good years running the football do we have with Lamar before we start getting concerned about him getting hurt?
That is true. I mean, you already saw last year him getting banged up. So it's a valid concern to bring up because it is a huge part of his game. I get, a couple years ago, 2024, he had his best passing year of his career, threw for over 4,000. Is he going to be able to successfully transition to a more dominant passer and having to take a step back from running the football as much? Because he's almost been in the league for, what's he going on, year 9, year 10 this year?
Something around
Is the
that.
math not mathing? I don't know.
The math is not mathing.
No, he's going into year 9.
Dustin said Lamar does a great job of avoiding taking hits in the open field. It's the pocket when you worry about those. Yeah, I agree, but I still you got to start asking yourself, like, how many more years as a runner do you have?
Exactly. Like, how many more years of the elusiveness and the quick cuts that we see from him?
Anthony, either one of those, not a good idea.
Yep.
One does not just simply let Derrick Henry run. Because when he runs for a very long time. Because he's not a very easy man to tackle either. Go ask, who was that, Josh Norman?
Yeah, go ask Josh Norman.
That he pancaked that one
but
time.
But then you can just go ask Cooper DeJean and he'll say, piece of work, piece of cake.
That's true. But no, the one thing I agree with you about is the fact, and I'll say this, Jesse Minter was my favorite coaching hire from this past offseason cycle because, again, the return of the Ravens defense. That defense last year, I didn't know what the heck I was watching most nights.
Yeah.
But now, of course, we know the Ravens were also part of the infamous Max Crosby trade that didn't end up happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, even you kept your draft picks. They did, because you still have Mike Green as a young edge rusher who they drafted last year. They signed Trey Hendrickson. They drafted Zion Young. They still have a very solid group of edge rushers, even without Max Crosby.
Mm-hmm. They do. They'll do just fine.
Yeah, like you said, they brought back old reliable Calais Campbell. But
yeah, again, my biggest thing, the return of the Ravens defense.
And in the secondary, Kyle Hamilton, one of the best safeties in football. Chidobe Awuzie, still a productive player. They signed Jalen Hawkins at free agency. He's going to help him out a little bit. Who's the kid they just drafted a couple years ago, too?
Last year, Malachi Starks. Yep.
I was just going to bring him up. Malachi Starks, who had a really solid rookie campaign. So, I mean, I think that's the thing with that Jalen Hawkins signing with him and Starks. I think you're going to see a lot of Kyle Hamilton. Do you want me to tell you right now? Kyle Hamilton is about to become Jesse Minter's version of what Derwin James was with the Chargers. He's going to move him everywhere in that system. Because Hawkins and Starks, you two play back there. Nothing gets over your head. Hamilton, he is going to move all over the football field this year. So I'm expecting a lot of stuff this year when it comes to that. Anthony said Josh Norman weighed, what, 180? Okay, Anthony, DeJean only weighs 198.
They are both small in comparison to the King.
Derrick Henry with stiff arm refrigerator Perry, for God's sakes, probably.
That might be a stretch. Although I would love to see that attempt.
Dust, are you sure Kirk didn't just accidentally run through it? Go look at Alejandro Kirk. He's funny. He's short but pudgy. What's up, Georgie?
What's up, George?
And Dustin said, could you imagine if the Ravens kept Crosby, then still signed Hendrickson? Now that how you get the Ravens defense back? Yeah, I get where you're coming with that, Dustin. I definitely do. That would have been lethal because the reports after the fact, like, oh, we were still going to pursue Hendrickson too. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I still don't buy that. I think, again, they got Max Crosby, they got cold feet.
They did. They said, we're giving up too much draft capital, and we're going to have to pay the guy. And he's coming off an injury. Why don't we just go get the better, the cheaper option?
Yeah, it costs us money, not draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. And but back to that Ravens secondary, like I said, you're going to see a lot of those three safety looks now. Hamilton's going to move all over the field. Hawkins is back there. Starks is back there. Marlon Humphrey, you still have him at corner. Nate Wiggins had a really good year last year in his second year in the league. That Ravens defense, I really think we are starting to see start to come back to life a little bit. And I know you want to see it.
Oh, I do want to see it. The NFL is always better with a good, dominant Ravens defense. Even if they can't make it out of the AFC Championship game.
And again, coming off the edge, you have Hendrickson. Mike Green's probably going to get a bigger role this year. I just realized they have Dom DeLuca on the freaking roster, which, of course, that's the former Penn State captain. Yeah, that's pretty funny, actually. But they have Tavares Robinson, who's another linebacker who had 4.5 sacks last year. Like you said, they still have Roquan leading the middle. Mm-hmm. But I think if they can get Metabike healthy, and he can come back at some point this year, putting him on that line with Calais Campbell, who I don't care how old he is still so damn productive. And then you have that group off the edge with Green, with Hendrickson, with Zion Young. And that secondary is scary to me. I think that secondary could be really good, especially with that 3 safety look that I was bringing up a minute ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, because Starks, we know what he can do is that deep ball safety that just keeps the entire back end solidified. Jalen Hawkins had a very strong career in New England. Now that Kyle Hamilton can just roam around and do whatever it is that he wants to do, good luck. Where are you going to? Good luck throwing the football.
And a very strong cornerback room. It's Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey in your slot. Owuzie is a very solid cornerback too on the outside.
Or they're going to have Humphrey and Wiggins, or they're going to move those two outside and have Hamilton.
Yeah, they could.
Like I said, Hamilton is going to move all over the place. All right, Dustin has a good question. What defense was better, the 0-1 Ravens led by Suggs, Lewis, and Ed Reed, or last year's Seattle's defense?
I'm sorry, Dustin, I'm going 2001 Ravens. Dustin, I love those defenses.
Hold on. Dustin, I'm going 2001 Ravens strictly because as great as that team was last year, that's not even the greatest defense in Seahawks history.
Good point.
And they were great last year, but I'm sorry. Legion of Boom, no chance.
Yeah. They were. Come on. Ray, Suggs, and Reed, come on.
Every level of that defense, you were contemplating retirement the second you stepped on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
That is 3 of the nastiest dudes you could think of. I'm not messing with them. I'm not messing with the 0-1 Ravens. They're still one of the greatest defenses I've ever seen. But yeah, I'm hoping the hire of Jesse Minter really gets this defense back on track because I miss the Ravens defense when it's at a dominant state.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Tyler, it is 9 o'clock. Let's get into our predictions for each team now. I think our ending segment that we were contemplating is not going to happen. So let's get into our schedule predictions now. Where do you want to start? Do we want to just stick right where we are with Baltimore? Do we want to?
Let's stick with Baltimore.
All right. You are responsible for keeping track.
Oh, gosh. All right. Let me pull up
Again.
a little notepad here. Again. Oh, I was responsible last time? Oops.
Yeah, that's why it took us 10. That's why it took me 10 minutes to make the graphic for it because I didn't
All
know
right. Ravens.
All right, so yeah, you keep track. Well, I'll read off the schedule. You keep track of the win losses. All right, so week 1, they are opening up on the road at Indianapolis against the Colts. Just a quick heads up, Daniel Jones has been fully cleared for practice, so he will be starting week 1 in case that messes with your prediction at all.
You know what? I gotta say, I think the Ravens start the year off with a win.
Okay. All right, so we'll go win week 1. All right, week 2, they're at home against the Saints.
Saints, they're going to be a good team next year. I still don't think they're. I think the Ravens will win that home game as well, since it's their home opener. Give me a 2-0 start.
Okay. Week 3 at Dallas.
They're at Dallas or they're home against Dallas?
At Dallas. So I think this is a letdown.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that's going to be their little early reality check.
All right, so we're 2-1 through September.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, they're at home versus Tennessee.
Tennessee will compete with some teams next year. I don't envision them being good enough to beat the upper echelon of teams. Give me the Ravens.
So we're 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, they are week 5 at Atlanta. This is a primetime game, 8:20.
Give me the Ravens.
Got the Ravens at 4-1 to start the year.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm in agreement. So, all right, next up, they're at Cleveland.
And we're the Cleveland Browns. This is this tough? I don't know. Maybe I think you should pick this one.
I feel like the Browns always have a upset win at home against a divisional opponent. I
They
still don't know who it's
do.
going to be.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to be them this year. It could be. I mean, we're looking at a.
Well, hey, hold on. This is week 6. Who's the starting quarterback by week 6?
That's what I'm trying to think about. I don't know who's going to be starting quarterback in week 6.
Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. Screw this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
All right, still at 1 loss.
So what are we at? 5-1.
Yep.
All right, then they return home to play the Bengals, week 7.
Bengals cool them off. I think the Bengals torch them.
5-2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, they're at Buffalo, week 8.
Loss.
All right, so 5-3. Next up, at home against Jacksonville.
Win.
That's win 6-3. I don't think Jacksonville's going to be as good as they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, home against the Chargers.
Give me another win.
Oh, Jesse Minter getting revenge on. Yeah, it's student versus teacher now.
Yeah. Hey, home field advantage. I'm thinking they bounce back, win those two at home after if they're losing back to back to the Bengals and the Bills.
So what do we have them at through 10 weeks? 7-3?
Three losses still. Yep, 7-3.
So 7-3. All right. Week 11 at Carolina.
Ooh, ah, this is going to be later in the season. So are we going to see an even more improved Carolina team than what we've been seeing? So this game could be close. I'm gonna let you decide this one.
I am going to go close game here. I will say close, but I'm going to go Ravens because
Okay.
I see where the schedule's going. So,
Yeah, me too.
all right. So through 11 weeks, we have them what? 8-3.
8-3.
All right. Next up, they're at Houston.
Loss.
Yeah, I'm going loss there. That Texas defense, nope, not taking my chances. All right, so they are 8-4 heading into their Week 13 bye. They open up their Week 14 at home against Tampa Bay.
Win.
Okay, so that's 9-4. All right, next up they're at Pittsburgh.
At Pittsburgh. Oof.
I'm gonna
Loss.
go. Yeah, I'm thinking they split.
Mm-hmm. I think they split, and then we'll preview till later in the season. I think they play each other for the division.
All right, well we have them at 8-5 currently,
8-5.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Next up, home against Cleveland. I think they
Win.
sweep Cleveland.
Yep.
All right, so they're 9-5, and now they're going on the road at Cincinnati.
You know what? I think the Ravens are out for blood at this point in the season. Give me a win. I think that road win against Cincy will solidify them as a contender in the AFC.
So what do we have them at then? And with that, so that's
Five
17 weeks,
losses. So at 12 and
five loss.
5? Or wait,
That'd be 11-5,
11 and 5, yeah. And then that
and then
brings us
they're
to the last game.
which is home against Pittsburgh.
I think they win to put them at 12 and 5 and take the division.
Yeah, Jesse Minter going 12-5 his first year.
It's a good roster he's got, man.
All right, I'm not disagreeing. All right. So we have the Ravens kicking off this prediction at 12-5. All right, who do you want to go
There
to
are
next?
there are a lot of games, obviously, that can go either way. Like,
Yes,
obviously, they could split with the Steelers. I said they were going to sweep the Steelers. They could split easily.
Steelers to sweep
They
them.
could lose. Yeah, they could lose both. A lot of games that could go either way. They could lose to the Chargers.
All right. So where do we want to go next?
Let's pop over to. We're gonna save the worst for last. We all know that. So let's go over to the Bengals. Will be interesting.
Okay. 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 I'm going to everything but schedule here. Jesus. All right. Week 1, they are home versus Tampa. That is such a bad opening game.
You say it's a bad opening game, but I see a healthy Joe Burrow. Give me the win.
Yeah, Tampa's not going to have the heat on their side yet. So, all right. Okay, yeah, I feel confident with saying that because week 2 at Texans.
Loss. They're gonna see what defense looks like.
All right, so we got the Bengals at 1-1 to start.
Mm-hmm.
All right, week 3 at Pittsburgh.
Loss.
I don't like that either. Yeah, I don't like that. All right, so they're 1-2.
1-2. That's usually how the Bengals start off.
All right, well here, let's get back to reality. Week 4 versus at home versus Jacksonville.
Win.
Okay, so they're 2-2. Week 5 at Miami. That's a win. They could probably start Joe Flacco and win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Week 6 bye. I don't like that.
Nope.
All right. Week 7 at Baltimore. Did we
Give
have
me that
Baltimore winning
loss.
this?
Yeah, I
So
think
that
we
so
had
that
Baltimore, yeah.
so we have them at 3-3.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll do you a favor. Win.
For the next 3?
I'm kind of feeling it against at home against the Titans.
Yeah, it's a win.
Win. At home against Atlanta. I think that's a win.
That's a 9:30 game. That's a overseas game.
Still a win, man. I don't know which lefty quarterback is going to be starting.
That is true. All right, so that's 5-3. Then we've got at home versus Pittsburgh.
I think they'll split with Pittsburgh.
Okay, so we have the Bengals at 6-3. Anthony, I do the 82-0 challenge. Trust me, I know they're rigged.
Hmm.
No, because hold on. Keep track of that real quick. I got an 80-2 team, and I had 2020's Russell Westbrook, 2020's Luka Doncic, 2000's T-Mac, 2000's LeBron, and 1990's Alonzo Mourning.
What?
You know how
I'm
many
telling you,
points
you got it. You have to have like Wilt, Kareem, or Elijah Wan.
I had a 79-3 team with 2020's Luka, 90's Michael Jordan, 90's Sharif Abdur-Rahim, 70's Bob McAdoo, and 90's Hakeem Olajuwon. Are you kidding me?
All right, forget your 82-0.
Okay, anyway, back on track here. All right, so where are we at, Tyler?
We're at 3 losses, and we went up to the Steelers game. So
Did we say that they were done that?
3. Yeah, I think they'll win at home against Steelers.
So what's that, 6-3?
6-3.
All right, next up, week 11, they're at the Commanders.
I
Prime
think they
time.
dropped that game.
I'm going win for the Commanders here.
4 losses.
Oh, Anthony, shut it down. Shut it down. That's a joke. All right, so where are we at now? 6-4?
Yep.
All right. Next up, they're home versus the Saints.
Give me a win.
All right, so 7-4. At the Browns.
Did they drop one of the Browns?
It's gonna be some. I'm telling you, Cleveland's beating somebody.
It's gonna be somebody. But who? You know what? Give me the Browns because Burrow's questionable this game.
Oh, December, no doubt. So it's at 7-5.
Yeah.
Home versus the Chiefs.
Oh. Mahomes is back by now. All signs point towards it. He'll probably be back for a while before this game.
7. I'm going loss. 7-6.
Yeah, 7-6. This is kind of how the Bengals operate, and then they have to climb back at the end of the season.
All right.
7-6.
All right, so 7-6 heading into the Carolina game.
Yep.
How you feel about the Carolina game?
Carolina, I think the Bengals, if Burrow's healthy this point in the year, they're going to start climbing back and playing really good football. I think they're going to beat the Panthers on the road.
So that's 8-6.
Yep, 8-6.
Now they're on the road against the Colts.
I think they go in and win a close game against the Colts, a really close game.
So that's 9-6. All right. Well, we had them losing to Baltimore, so that's 9-7.
Yep.
And then they finish at home against Cleveland.
A win.
So we have the Bengals going 10-7. Okay.
Yeah, 10-7.
All right. So next up, we'll do Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Okay. I go to everything but schedule when I do this. All right.
Good job.
Thank you. Steelers open up the season at home against the Falcons.
Win.
That's a win. Week 2. Ooh, man. At New England.
It's gonna be a hell of a game.
I'm going loss.
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go early loss.
I'll go loss. So they're 1-1.
Close
Week
loss
3.
though.
Week 3 at the Bengals. Who do we pick for that game?
Uh, did we have them as a win? Did we have them winning at one at home and one on the road?
I can't remember.
Thought we did. All right, let's see. At the Bengals, let's go loss.
No, this is the ones in Pittsburgh.
Oh, this one's in Pittsburgh. Oh, yeah. Give me the
I
win.
think we had the Steelers winning this game.
I think we did. We had them winning at home.
All right, so they're 2-1 heading into October. Week 4 at Cleveland.
Win.
All right, 3-1. Week 5 at the Colts.
Win.
4-1. On the road at Tampa.
I don't know, man. Tampa's kind of like they're a weird team this year because you don't know what they're really gonna be without Mike Evans. What are you gonna get from Godwin?
Vea wants out.
Vea wants out now.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Give me the Steelers again.
God, you got the Steelers at 5-1.
I do.
All right. Next up, 9:30 a.m. game week 7 against the Saints. I'm going the Saints here.
I'm gonna say I think the Saints give them a wake up call.
All right, so they're 5-2 after 7 weeks. Week 8 at home against Cleveland.
Is this the one game that Cleveland takes?
It's in Pittsburgh. There's no way.
You don't think there's a shot? Not at all. So we're having Cleveland get swept by their whole division?
Yes.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I thought you had we had the beating the Bengals.
Oh, it was the Bengals that we split. Okay, you're right.
All right, so they're sweeping the Browns. So what do we have it through week 8?
2 losses, I believe.
So they're 6-2.
6-2.
All right, so they have a week 9 bye. So week 10 they're coming out of it, and they are going at Cincinnati.
Loss.
Okay, so that's
go on the road and lose, come out of that bye.
So they're 6-3.
6-3.
Week 11 at
Loss.
Philly. 6-4. Home against Denver.
Cool. Dare I say that they dropped 3 games in a row?
6-5.
6-5. See, now we're coming down to earth a little bit.
Tyler, hold on. Week 13, home against Houston.
All right. McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers are experienced enough in this league to not drop that many games in a row.
CJ Stroud's going to get blasted by that Steelers.
Yeah, and CJ Stroud, he might be seeing some ghosts on the field.
Give me the Steelers in a 13-10 slugfest.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All right, so where do I have them at? 7-5?
Yeah, 5 losses still.
All right, so they're 7-5. Week 14 at Jacksonville.
Win.
8-5. Home versus the Ravens.
I believe we had it at win. Yeah, I think I had the Ravens sweeping them.
So that's what, 8-6?
Yeah.
Home versus the
no. Wait.
Wait,
Yes, the Ravens sweeping them. Yes, I just had to make sure.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then they're home against the Panthers.
Win.
9-6.
Mm-hmm. Win.
All right. And then at Tennessee.
Win. So that puts them at 10. And I said they were getting swept by the Ravens. 10-7?
So they're both 10-7.
Man, all right. What's the one game we can flip to have that last game at Baltimore be the game for their division? We gotta
Yeah, because that would have to put them.
Maybe they don't drop 3 straight against the Bengals, Eagles, and Broncos.
Who would you have them beating? Probably the Bengals.
Yeah, I would say the Bengals.
They don't play, and people can call us homers. They don't play well on the road in Philly. They never
No,
have.
they don't.
We dominate them in Philly.
Yep. Yeah.
So you want to flip that game?
Yeah, let's flip that to a loss for the Bengals. So that'll drop our Bengals down to 9-8.
Yes.
9-8. I'm updating it here, and then that'll put us at 11-6 for the Steelers.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
That is true, Anthony.
You did.
But that's not how we see it.
Yeah, I see them. I see the Ravens and Steelers playing that final game of the season with both of their starters for the division, giving us a nice segue into the playoff season.
All right, Tyler. Now let's get to the damn Cleveland Browns.
Oh, brother. All right. Loss. Forfeit.
Okay.
Loss. Win.
Whoa.
Loss.
All right, listen, we still have some NFL headlines to get through, too, so let's get this going.
Oh, we can run through this one here.
All right, week 1 at Jacksonville.
Loss.
I'm going win.
You're going win. All right, I'll go with it.
I don't think Jacksonville's going to be as good as they were last year.
But do you really expect the Browns to be that good?
It's week 1. Anything can happen week 1.
You're right. And Jacksonville's at home. But we'll go Browns. All right. 1-0.
All right. Week 2 at Tampa.
Loss.
Baker's getting revenge. Week 3 at Carolina. No, home versus Carolina. My mistake.
Home versus Carolina. Damn, that sucks. They got to play 2 road games before they get to play at home. Jeez. Yeah, they
don't forget to add a tie for the Browns. Get the heck out of here.
You know what? He's not wrong. We gotta. You know what? We'll add a tie against the Jets. Perfect.
Oh God. Who? Week 3, Carolina. Who's winning?
Carolina.
All right, so they're 2. So we got 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Home versus the Steelers.
Loss.
1 and 3. All right, week 5 at New York.
Fine.
We're not doing this.
Fine. You know what? I'm going win.
Okay, I'm okay with going to win. Geno Smith, yeah, have fun.
Was that 2 and 3?
2 and 3. Home against Baltimore, 2 and 4.
Yep.
At Tennessee.
Give me Tennessee. I want to see what
Cleveland.
that team can do. You're going Cleveland? Damn. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. We'll give them the win.
Or could this be the tie? No.
They can have the win.
All right, so we got 3 and 4.
Yes.
All right. Week 8 at Pittsburgh.
Loss.
3 and 5. On the road at New Orleans.
Loss.
3 and 6. Home versus Houston.
Loss.
3 and 7. Bye week. Week 12, home against the Raiders.
I'm going to say loss.
Okay, so that's 3 and 8. Home versus the Bengals. We picked them to win this game.
We did.
So through 13 weeks, what do we have? 4-1.
Dude, we've been saying so many losses, I lost track already.
We had them at 4. We had 4 wins.
I think we're at 9 losses.
So we're 4-9. Home versus the Falcons.
I can see them winning.
Okay, we got 5 wins in Cleveland.
5 wins in Cleveland. The tides are turning.
At New York.
Loss.
All right.
10 losses.
All right. So, yeah, then they go at Baltimore, so it's back-to-back losses.
Yep, 11 losses.
So that's what, 5-9? No.
Oh.
No, wait, how many? Wait, you're supposed to be keeping track of this.
Yeah, I told you, this is too many losses. My brain is overloaded
No, it's
right
not.
now. It is. It's too many losses. All right, hold on. Let's see. This will be easier if I count the wins. Who do we have them beating? Jacksonville?
Yes.
Did we have them beating losing to the Panthers, right?
Yes.
Losing to the Bucks.
Yes.
Losing to the Steelers.
Yes. Beat the Jets.
Beating the Jets. That's 2 wins. Losing to the Ravens. Beating the Titans.
Tennessee.
3 wins. Losing at Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Losing at the Saints.
Yes.
Losing at home against the Texans.
Yes.
Losing at home against the Raiders.
Yes.
Losing at home against the Bengals.
No, we had them beating the Bengals.
Oh, that's right. We had them beating the Bengals. Okay, so that's 4 losses. Or no, 4 wins. 4 wins. I'm keeping track.
Tyler, you need
4
to,
wins.
You
It's
are
4 wins.
Yes.
It's 4 wins. It's 4 wins.
So they have 5. So we have 5 wins.
4 wins. Because then we go into. We had them
Atlanta
losing to Atlanta. Did we?
No, we had you. We said win.
Oh, win. Okay, so 5. Then it was loss against the Giants, loss against the Ravens, loss against the Colts. I'm gonna say loss against the Colts.
Okay, and then loss against the Bengals,
and then loss against the Bengals. Bengals are at home.
So 5-12.
5-12.
That's
so
honestly,
I was right. Actually, I was on track. You threw me off.
Oh yeah,
with your 9 losses, because I actually, up until the Colts game, I had 11 losses counted, and then that Bengals game would have been the 12th one.
Oh yeah, because I'm the one that screwed that up.
Yeah, you did screw that up. Thanks a lot, Sandy.
Okay, you're welcome.
So 5-12. If only they could flip that number around. Not in this century.
Yeah, definitely not in this century. All right, so there's your AFC North. Anthony just put out that the Browns wins odds is 5.5.
Oh, we're on to something.
At the under.
Sam, do you need me to send you this list? Or do you have it?
I already have it in here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it already. All right. Let's run through some NFL headlines real quick, because it is we're pushing time here, so it's been a long episode.
Mm-hmm.
We had some breaking news, Tyler, right before the show. Vita Vea requests a trade out of Tampa. This all comes with their contract dispute of him wanting a new deal, and the Bucs not looking to shell out the dough.
I mean, I see it from both sides. I honestly can't blame the Buccaneers. I feel like they recognize their championship window is closed. It's been closed since Brady retired. They had a few solid years with Baker, and Baker's still a great quarterback, and they're going to have success with him. They need to retool on that defense. The defense is so gutted out. And I think trading Vita Vea to get more capital would actually benefit them better in the long term.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I mean, this is still one of the premier defensive tackles in the league, even at 31 years old. So, I mean, he is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. So that, of course, is one of the big factors that a team is going to have to look into. That, yes, they are going to trade for him, but they're also going to have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question is now, where do we see some fits for Vita Vea?
Mm, I would say, how about the Colts?
DeForest Buckner's been getting banged up a lot recently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the idea of that. If the Rams call them, hang up the
Oh
phone.
my gosh, hang it up. Tell them we do not want the 2035 first round pick.
Hey guys, we can't stop the run. Can we have Vita Vea? No.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Chargers can make some
I
sense
mean,
though. The other LA team.
yeah, Chargers can make a lot of sense. How about a team with a championship window open? What if the Patriots call?
Between their defensive tackles already, maybe. I mean, they have Milton Williams.
But Vita Vea is more of a nose tackle.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much of a
And no,
fit
the
that is.
Patriots do have a nose tackle, and he's not that good. They predominantly use Barmore and Milton Williams as like
Pass
edge
rush.
rush, like defensive ends, rather than tackles. So he actually would be a good fit there and a big upgrade from what they currently have.
Well, according to a report, Vita Vea wants to play for a West Coast team. The
Oh,
teams that have been named: San
he wants
Francisco
to go to the Rams.
49ers, both LA teams, or the Las Vegas Raiders.
Actually,
The Niners would be a good fit.
they would, but I'm actually more intrigued about the Raiders. They've made a lot of good moves to strengthen their defense with younger players to get a solid, proven veteran in Vita Vea and at your nose tackle. I mean, you're looking at Thomas Booker, Vita Vea. You have Max Crosby, Quiddy Pay. I That's pretty
And
solid
plus,
little front line.
their defensive tackle room took a hit when they had to release Christian Wilkins 1 year into the big contract they gave him.
Yep.
So I think the question there would be: is Vita Vea? I mean, he is 31. Does he want to be part of a team that's kind of in a rebuild still? I mean, I know they
Yeah.
got their quarterback,
Well,
yes, but
the thing is they're hoping that the rebuild window is coming to an end.
I
Hopefully by
got that.
year two of Fernando Mendoza, hopefully they're able to compete more. That'll also put Ashton Genty in his third year. Got Brock Bowers. They continue to draft well for wide receiver. I don't see why not.
Anthony, every time that you guys come in the chat and say you can't do this without doing that, go ask the LA Rams.
Nah, the
As
Rams aren't even going to answer the phone. They're just waiting for Aaron Donald.
pretty. I think San Francisco is my landing spot. You pair him on that defensive line, Michael Williams, Nick Bosa, a healthy Nick Bosa that is, Osa Adigizua. I like that potential in San Fran. I like the idea of him going to San Fran.
Yeah,
Just so crazy, man. He's been one of the Bucks' best players for years.
that's the problem. They're not willing to pay them. And that's why he wants out. He didn't just ask out because, like, I don't want to do it no more. They don't want to extend him.
Yeah, I mean he's set to make 18 million this year, so
Yeah.
we'll have
So,
to
I mean,
monitor. Now, again, could this just be a way of them saying, "Oh no, here we'll pay you this"? So, I mean,
yeah, it could just be a bargaining chip that he's trying to pull. It's possible.
all right. Next up, because we still got a couple other things I want to hit on just real quickly before we get out of here. Patrick Mahomes fully cleared for practice. So anybody that thought, oh, the Chiefs are heading for a down year, no, they'll be
No, they'll
there.
be back. They'll be back.
However, that O-line needs to hold up because his mobility, yeah, you know what? He looks good. He really does. Looks good running around the field. His mobility is going to be hampered a little bit.
Hmm.
And it's definitely going to change. I'm sure he's going to have to wear a brace
Yeah.
unless so they are going to need their offensive line to hold up to keep him upright. Because I mean, Anthony, it's the first time he stepped on a football field in how many months?
Yeah, he hasn't been able to train or anything.
Yeah, like he has to get back in the football shape. But the fact that he's already
I'll,
cleared the
yeah,
practice.
I'll wait till what I see week 1.
Yeah, exactly. I ain't worried about practices. He needs to get in the football shape.
Hmm.
But I mean, their offensive line right now, you're looking at what? Creed Humphrey,
Josh
Josh
Simmons,
Simmons, Trey Smith.
eh.
Yeah, they. Ooh,
Jalen Moore, meh. Kingsley, who? I don't know.
yeah. The Chiefs are going to need that offensive line to hold up.
Good luck.
All right, next up we got tough one. Carolina Panthers, Nick Scorton, torn ACL in like what their second practice
First
of
day.
of
First
the
day.
first day camp.
Hmm. Yeah.
Scorton, of course, second Nick Scorton last year, of course, second round pick, 5 sacks off basically in a reserve role. Had a really good, promising rookie season last year. And for
Yep.
a Panthers team who I think we both think are going to be pretty damn good, they blustered the front seven this offseason. You know, they gave Jalen Phillips that big contract. They signed Devin Lloyd away from the Jags. And I
Mhm.
think Nick Scorton was really going to factor into that team a lot this year. And it sucks that now we have to wait till 2027 to see him again.
Yeah.
Young,
Yeah.
promising player, and
Very unfortunate.
I mean they're still going to be a good team, but I think having the loss of Scorton's it's a tough one because again, I think he was going to factor into that rotation a lot coming off the edge, especially with Jalen Phillips off the other end.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, they can find a way to fill in his production. Last little bit of news, Tyler. Tyreek Hill provided us with a little bit of an update on his injury situation. Now, of course, you know, when the season ended, everyone said, oh, Tyreek gets released. He's going to go back to the Chiefs. But now we're sitting here almost in August, and he is still without a team. I think we found out why. Because he came out and said just the other day, he is not have any power in his left leg still. And
Yep.
he is working currently to get power back into that leg. Um, I'm not a doctor, but a wide receiver that strictly relies on his speed and he now still has no power in his one leg, which he's just coming off a torn ACL, and I think he dislocated his knee.
He tore about almost every muscle and tendon in his knee.
Yeah, this isn't a good thing.
Yeah. It's definitely not. So we'll see how his rehabilitation goes to try and, get that power back in that knee, see if he can even get it back to 90% of what it was. But,
That's a big ask.
aging receiver already, not a young guy no more. He's never going to be the cheetah again. That's not going to happen. And yeah, it's going to be tough for a guy like you said who his whole style and brand was speed, the fastest guy, fastest receiver in the NFL, put the burners on any defense, make big plays. He can't do that. What is he? He don't got hands like Larry Fitzgerald. He doesn't have route running like Keenan Allen. Where does that
Nope.
leave him? it's going to leave him off of most NFL rosters unless if he can prove otherwise. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's a very, very nasty injury to see.
But again, like you said, when you're a wide receiver that relies solely on his speed like that, I don't know what. I mean, apparently the reports came out even after this that, he has garnered some interest around the league. But, I mean, clearly not enough for teams to say, hey, let's give him a shot.
Mm-hmm. He probably can't even go work out for him. I'm sure teams call and ask how he's doing, but he probably can't even go work out because there's no power on the legs, so there's nothing to show.
Well, I was going to say, if they call him and that's his answer, yeah, I don't know if they're going to be asking him to come in for anything.
Yeah.
Anthony, please stop. Anthony.
We don't want to hear about the Rams getting anybody else. We're done.
We don't need to.
We're done.
We don't need to have more on the Rams than what they have. They have enough.
The Rams are like the 76ers.
Not even close. Every Rams player is still in the very absolute prime of their career.
Well, Stafford isn't, but Stafford's just a Hall of Fame quarterback, so it doesn't matter.
But yet he's somehow having the best seasons of his career.
Exactly. Yeah, he's won the MVP, but he's out of the prime of his career. He's a different one.
No. Please, Tom Brady was in the prime of his career and he was 45.
Yeah. He still might be in his prime, but we'll never know. Unless we get him out on that football field again.
With that being said, Tyler, you got anything else you want to talk about tonight? We've had a lot.
That's about it. I'm ready to go to sleep and dream about football season starting.
And I'm going to go to sleep, dream about football season, basketball season, and hockey season. Because guess what? After what I just watched tonight, I hope the Phillies sell at the deadline. I hope they trade everybody. Trade Turner, trade Schwarber, trade Harper. I'm done. Blow it up.
No, you're not. Stop it.
What that?
And then October's going to come around and you're waving the banner.
Not one bit. They will fail in October. They're not going to get to October this year. It doesn't matter. Can't beat. Marlins lost 12 straight. Blew a lead. That's real cute. With that being said, guys, that's going to wrap up tonight's episode of Unbiased. Another preview show in the books. Got through the whole AFC North and got through a bunch of other little NFL subjects. Want to thank everybody for tuning in on the Facebook and YouTube side of tonight's show. Thank you, everybody who threw the comments in this comment section tonight. Got a busy week upcoming. We have DA After Dark tomorrow. I know George said we're talking some fantasy football tomorrow, so that'll be something interesting to look forward to. Hitting home back on Wednesday, probably back on the 10 o'clock hour. Dustin and I will be going through the top 100 trade deadline candidates that Jeff Paston put out last week, so we'll be talking about that. And Birds of the Gridiron will be back on Friday, because last week we got interrupted with some breaking NBA news that we had to talk about on Friday, so we'll be back at it with some Eagles training camp stuff on Friday. Training camp starts, they report tomorrow. First practice, I believe, is Wednesday. It's almost there, guys. It's almost time for football season.
Oh, yes.
With that being said, thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Thank you, everybody who commented in. Have a great rest of your Monday night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night for some DA After Dark. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Have a good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did